Hello, beautiful beings of light. I hope you all are well. It has been a very intense last few weeks, and I'm really excited to be making this video today and to be sharing energy with you today because there is a very just future looking forward bright full moon happening the 28th 29th period, and that's when the energy will be peaking, and it is really going to shift the energy. So I'm excited to be talking to you about that today. And I think if I wish I could play music, but with the way YouTube is running now, I can't do that. But I would really encourage you all to listen to that song by the Beatles entitled "Here Comes the Sun," because that is really the energy that we are going to be working with in this this full moon in Leo energy. So just to kind of recap where we've been. I did this video last week, and you guys can definitely take a look at that. Where there was all of this recalibration being done in our heart space, and anything that has had been wounding or that we had bypassed was really coming up for review. And the reason that this was happening is that as we're stepping into these new templates and these new paradigms, as we're shifting into these new expanded bandwidths, we can no longer hold these lower vibrational tethers in our resonant frequencies. Our bodies, our light bodies, are no longer able to hold that within the container or the vessel. And I talked about, in order for something new to be born, something else has to die. Well, these are things that we are happy to say goodbye to. These are things that are no longer serving us, and as we move into these fourth and fifth dimensional states of consciousness, we are no longer going to need these giant catalytic circumstances or karmic events in order to further our growth and our expansion. So we really saw a lot of this shadow moon tethering. Remember, from the perspective of tethering, the moon holds the grid to our past. And if we are, we're corded into that, and if we're corded into the lower aspects of that, that is going to come through as these lower frequencies. So we saw that in a really the term that they gave me is that we were kind of unraveled to our core. We were, taken all the way down to the core of who we truly are, in order to begin to step into this new bandwidth and this new cycle. And it was definitely illuminating, and it was a very intense energy to work with. But one of the things that we learned from the experience is that, these traumas that we endured, these experiences no longer had the same capacity to, level us or bring us down into lower dominant resonant frequencies, because we are holding higher dominant resonant frequencies naturally as we expand. And so that song "Here Comes the Sun," has a line in it, that the ice is slowly melting. And I, spoke about in this last video with the theme that it was like a layer of ice that had, been covering, or been like these, band-aids for these wounds, and that we were defrosting, and we were allowing these things to rise to the surface, and we were releasing them, hopefully, once and for all, clearing out this residue. Now, it may look like that for you. You may still be working through this energy. Now, remember this conjunction energy that I spoke about, which opened, at this 1221 portal. We were going to be experiencing this for about 6 months. So as to what tethers specifically you are individually working on is going to deal specifically with your journey and, what your blueprint looks like. And I am giving you the energies from the perspective of tethering from a universal perspective, let's say with the full moon energy, where the planetary systems are giving us the most energy, where that grid is impacting our tethers most significantly in any given now moment. This is where it behooves you to have a little bit of knowledge on your own specific astrological chart on where, when planets are moving through, how it may be impacting your tethers more significantly, so you can learn how to work with the grids of these planets. And this is something that I'm just now beginning to delve into, because it's really a gift. That was the one thing that, I'm starting to realize and actualize, is that it's really a gift to have these planetary bodies, which hold their own consciousness and have their own grid, come closer to us in these various different orbits and lend us their energy more potently. So we're, the ice is slowly melting. We're releasing this. And I asked Spirit about that. What were we doing? Oh, before I get to that. So as to whether or not you're going to continue to be working with this energy, like I said, that's specifically up to you and your energetic cords and tethers. I asked specifically for angelic assistance in moving through the alternative space and resolving any of these vibrational dissonance traumas. And I asked for a sign that had been cleared, and specifically asked to be shown that in our fourth dimensional reality. And that for me was, kind of a really big relief that, sometimes I think we get stuck in this idea that we, are always having to, to heal and uncord and cut cords and everything. And we are always transmuting the energy. But this idea that we are, unhealed in some way, is another thing that they're really, guiding me, that, we can begin to let go of this template that I think a lot of people in the spiritual community kind of get caught up in, like, oh, there's always more work to do. And of course, we're always growing and expanding. But there's a difference between, being excited and passionately pursuing expansion and viewing yourself as this unhealed, wounded thing that constantly needs to be, revising. And so that was really kind of the message they gave me about this energy that we're coming out of now. So I pulled, they gave me 2 cards about it. And the first one was called Ground Down. And this card says, root to rise. By starting and ending each day in peaceful, stable mindset, you have the ability to reach your highest potential. The equal and opposite forces of gravity pulling down as enlightenment stretches you up will land you in a balanced state. In this space, you feel strong in your foundation and ready to expand on various levels of your mind: conscious, subconscious, unconscious, inner child, free will, soul, and monadic group. So I thought this was very, spot on as far as a card to be given. Root to rise. So we've been unraveled to our core. And, I explained that I had been really working on my root chakra and, that sense of safety and security and, pulling that energy up from the earth and at the same time rooting into it. And then the moon energies hold that subconscious belief in the past, and in order to release that and move in to the more expanded energies of the sun to rise, we needed to root down. And again, the moon energies holding our subconscious beliefs. And then the other thing they really explained to me was, yes, we were releasing these chords, transmuting them. But one other way to look at it is that we really have been the alchemists. So we're really moving into this sense of alchemy. And so this was the other card I pulled. And this says, the soul creates the mind creates the body. Alchemy is a holographic language, a philosophy that shows how to translate any experience, be it internal or external, into understanding of the truth and how to apply that to life in the form of earth tools. Apply these tools to interpret, authenticate, and clarify information rather than to judge with bias or preconceived notions. The three principles of alchemy are key: soul, spirit, and body. Consciousness, soul, relates to matter, body through the mind, spirit. The structure allows you to actualize your thoughts every day. Thinking has the power to give illusion of form and alters the perception of physical reality. Therefore, magic is caused by the mind holding certain perspectives. Alchemy teaches us to find the deeper level of existence within every form by transmuting physical and etheric elements and finding correspondence between matter and light. And so that, again, was just beautiful because, we are really, the words they gave me was it's time to pull the magic out of all of the madness, and to really alchemize these experiences and pivot them into something that where it may have once in the past felt like a trauma or a vulnerability, these are really going to be the tools that now we use. Instead of it being an impediment, it's going to become a strength. And so that, again, has to do with our change in perspective, and really all a higher dimensional state of being is a change in perspective. So I know that a lot of you, I haven't been able to respond. I believe my bans are being lifted or have been lifted. I need to take a look so I can reach out again and respond to some of you. But I did receive a lot of messaging from you guys regarding this feeling of really resonating with the reality bubbles. And that was a video I did, not this past, it's been a few videos back. And so you guys, please feel free to go, and watch these because they all, kind of piggyback off one another. And, so I know a lot of you are still really feeling like you're in your own reality bubble and that the rest of the world is somewhere else, or, that your peers or friends, that it's not really resonating for you, or you don't feel that you're experiencing the same reality. And one of the things that they asked me to convey is to understand that as grid keepers, way showers, trendsetters, okay, we are experiencing reality typically about 5 years ahead of everyone else on our timelines. And the reason for this is that we, as part of the coalition of the crystalline heart, are holding the grid in higher dominant resonant frequencies. And we are creating a template for others to subscribe to at a certain point in time. Someone has to be the first to create these templates. And if you're exchanging energy with me on this platform, then you are a grid keeper, a way shower, a trendsetter. And that can feel kind of, disenfranchised at times, or cause you at a certain point in your journey to really question, am I the crazy one? Because no one else seems to be experiencing what I'm experiencing. And the answer to that is no, you're not. And they, really expressed to me that is why it's so important for us to create communion and community with one another. And it's not to isolate yourself or to only surround yourself. I do not subscribe to this idea that you should only surround yourself with people of similar, likes and dislikes and so on and so forth. We are all each other pushed out. And it does mean, though, that you root in, right? You ground in the people in your community that are your tribe, which is what, I've been trying to do with my channel, is create community and create tribe and to create magic and alchemy and a space and a place where we can exchange energy and, experience so that you don't feel so alone. So you don't feel like you are untethered and just floating out there. But do understand that when it comes to this, straddling two lines, that is happening. And at some point, it is going to, start to break away. But even in that, chances are you are about 5 years ahead in perspective, in dominant resonant frequency. So you can't expect others from the frequency that they are holding to view things in the same manner. This also, they've explained, is what helps us in our mission. They are helping us attain true neutrality. Because as I discussed in the last video, we are moving to a space of true neutrality. And when we are challenged in this way, where the world perspective or the collective perspective is quite different than, the perspective in which we are holding, or the dimensional reality in which we are holding, it gives us the opportunity, because remember, we're always learning and teaching simultaneously, to be able to view others not as unawakened or less than in some way, but they are teaching us how to be truly neutral, regardless of what's taking place in the collective consciousness. So, we are in this egg of life. We are in this precursor to the flower of life. And we are kind of, incubating these reality bubbles. And we're a little bit more gestated, okay, in the process of creation, and we're just a little bit further along in the stage of creation. But that is one of the reasons. I think someone else, it was more than one person, was asking me, well, what do I do about that? And that's really an individual kind of choice. It kind of goes back to what I was discussing in the last video, is understanding that certain things are for you and certain things aren't for you. So if you need to disengage from certain people, places, or things with love, because it just doesn't resonate with you anymore, that's okay. Some people, their role to play. Remember, I said everybody's going to have a different role this year, and some people really, they feel they light up when they are in the arena of people with very dissonant vibration, because they feel that they can go in and transmute energy, which is a concept I'll be discussing later on in some of these videos for the plan for the year, where you can really hack the grid with your dominant resonant frequency. And you talk about some ascended masters, in these stories that we all learn, and they had the capacity just by, appearing on scene to raise everybody's dominant resonant frequency up. So I wouldn't say like there's one way of doing it, or there's a right or a wrong way. It's all about, going into your heart space and understanding, okay, this is for me. This is the role that I have chosen to play at this moment in time. And our roles are always changing. So, maybe it'll resonate with you for a while, and maybe you'll outgrow it. And, one of these main tethers that we've been learning to disengage from are guilt and shame. And so, not to feel guilty if there are, platforms that don't feel right for you anymore, groups that don't feel right for you anymore, friendships that don't feel right, relationships, okay? That just means that the vibrational dissonance has grown to a place that you, are no longer able to be in reality with someone else in that now moment. That's all that means. So yeah, that's where I wanted to start, as kind of a way to homogenize all of these different aspects that have been occurring, certainly since the 1221 gateway. And so the next thing I really wanted to discuss was this full moon energy that's happening. And so like the full moon is it's a release of energy. And I really started feeling this, I view like the full moon energies, or I feel that in my energetic body as like a buildup over several days. I don't view that as like, strictly from an astrological perspective, like it's a pinpoint moment in time, where you're at. It's it's energy, it's it's the grid, right? And how we feel the grid. And I am recording this on the 27th. And so it'll be a buildup over the 27th, 28th, and 29th. And, I really felt, even yesterday is when I felt this relief of these really intense energies lifting. And the reason I felt so compelled to make a video for this full moon is that it is in Leo. And Leo is the sun. It's representative of the sun. And we know from the perspective of tethering that the moon is what holds our grid to the past, and the sun is what holds our grid to the future. So we have now brought the sun onto the moon. The sun, right? The moon is going to be in the sun, meaning, and it's a full moon, right? So meaning we can release these tethers and now start looking more towards the sun, more to the future, more to the big, bold, bright future where all of our, power resides from the heart tethered into the sun space. So it really feels, I feel it so magically already, starting yesterday. And, as I've, spoken about before, as an energy intuitive, a psychic empath, an empath that feels the collective energy really intensely. For me, the last few weeks have been really, I think I said before, like kind of fragmented. And now I just feel like I'm, back in my center. And the title that they gave to me for this is The Heart Takes Center Stage. And so I just thought, well, that is beautiful, because Leo is really an energy that wants to be seen. It is, when we think of Leo energy, we think of, people that do want to be, in the public forum, actors and, people that really want to have the attention on them. And so we really now know that the attention, the heart energy is going to be taking center stage, which is exactly where we want to be. And we are still feeling these conjunction energies as well. So it's, I'm feeling the revival again of that, that conjunction energy, that Christmas star energy, that beautiful, magical spirit is really coming forward for us. And we have a big opportunity to now hook onto, right? Now we've unraveled to the core. All right. And now we need something to latch onto. And we don't want to latch into the past anymore. We want to latch onto our future and into the future tethers and, have our power be from the now. And this is our opportunity to do that. This full moon is our opportunity to latch on to these these optimistic, futuristic tethers. And it's really our first shot, okay? Since the 1221 bandwidth opened, it's the first doorway that's opening up, that's allowing us to root in some of these higher dimensional tethers. And so that is exciting, especially for all of us that have been, working towards this. This is really our opportunity to do that. So what does that look like? Here is what, I'm sorry, I've got like a million notes because all the information just came like flooding through. So, okay, so we are going to start seeing with the, so we've got the moon in Leo, and then we have Aquarius energies as well. I think we have the sun in Aquarius, and I believe Jupiter too. Don't quote me on that, but we are also feeling this Aquarius energy in conjunction with the moon energy. And so this doorway is opening for us. We've done the work, we've released, and now we're stepping through the threshold of these new bandwidths. And what is there on the other side? But the beginnings of our abilities coming online is what has been given to me. So we are now going to have be seeing more of our abilities with telepathy, with channeling, with welcoming in our, remember Aquarius is, very technologically based, but we are going to be welcoming in our human tech now. This is our human tech that we were born with. So telepathy, claircognizance, channeling abilities. One of the other things that are coming online for us, and this is something that, I've been doing for quite a while, but we're really going to be able to have more energy given to that, is being able to connect with others through the heart space. Remember, the heart is taking center stage now, and being able to, connect in the alternative space through the heart, and being able to send energy to others and healing energy to others. And, what an honor that is, just to be human and have that ability. But this is our human tech. This is the abundance matrix coming online. And, what we've been so excited and been talking about for so long is finally here, manifest in this now moment. So that's really, really exciting. Let's see, what else do I have here for you? Oh, yeah. So the other thing that they've given me is that we're going to see a lot of this remember I told you that, 2021 many people would be pushed into expansion and they'd be pushed into activism. So we're definitely also going to see, with these moon energies, and the Aquarius energies intermixed with that. Remember, we have the sun too. It moving forward into the future, more of this humanitarian type of energy as well. But one thing they said, our words are our spells, to be thinking more along the lines, instead of activism, to kind of, we're looking for the highest and best tethers now, not just any tether. We want to cord into the highest and best, is to look at it from more of a standpoint of altruism. So when we think about activism, we think about people very rooted in their position and, fighting for a cause. And, those that really feel like that is a role that they're playing, we want to be able to come at that from a space of neutrality, not polarity. And now that we're holding these higher dominant resonant frequencies, it's if we want to tap into the highest and best and be able to really get what we want from that situation, that it's easier, it's an easier path. It's an easier doorway if we look at it more from the perspective of altruism, versus activism. But we're going to be seeing a lot of that too. So definitely some really amazing energies coming online for us tomorrow and the day after. And really then that hits up against a Mercury retrograde happening on the 30th. And so that is, something that's going to be impacting us as well. So I'm not sure if I'm going to discuss that in a separate video or tag it onto this one, but I've received some channeled messaging on that too. So I think I'm gonna took a minute to pause and ask Spirit, and I think I'm gonna do a separate video on the retrograde energies, because as we discussed before, each planetary body has its own consciousness and its own grid. And I don't want to confuse things too much, because this really, was about the sun and the moon and the full moon energies that are coming through over the next few days. So to wrap up, I asked them for a couple more cards, and I received these two cards. And the first one is build. And I don't know if you can see, there is some sacred geometry. And more specifically, these are platonic solids. And then the other card I received was equanimity. And we can see those same platonic solids being represented there. And the platonic solids representing the elements as well: earth, wind, fire, water, and ether. So in looking at these and building equanimity, the platonic solids are really the building blocks of our physical reality. And equanimity, when I looked up specifically, they give me these words, and part of what I do is I tap into the energy of the word itself. And the definition of equanimity is having an even mind, a state of psychological stability and composure, which is undisturbed by experience or by exposure to emotions, pain, or other phenomena that may cause others to lose the balance of their mind. So as we can see, equanimity is really what we were alchemizing over these past weeks. One of the things I discussed was, to no longer be swept away by emotion or other people's emotion, to understand that emotions run through us and to no longer allow those to be stuck in our energetic body. And then we were clearing our emotional body of any past traumas. The other thing was with this full moon energy was that the heart was going to be taking center stage, and we had mind and heart unification, which once we arrive at true neutrality, we move into a space of heart and mind unification. And when we are in heart and mind unification, that is where all of our power resides. And that is when we are creating our reality from a space that we are directing. And with these two cards, building equanimity, that is exactly what we are doing. We are allowing the heart to take center stage, and we are now we've now moved into a space of equanimity, and we are in the cosmic egg energy. These are the building blocks of our physical reality. These are the new rules. The new game is afoot. Our new tech is coming online, and it all just, it all just is coming together. So I hope you have enjoyed this take on an energy update. I wanted to kind of beta test for you. I know I've done some card pulls on one or two maybe videos, and I know some of you watching this have received personal readings from me, but I really want to begin doing these readings from a perspective of tethering. And if you watch my tethering video, if you haven't by now, you might as well go and do that, because that is the perspective of which I channel and all of the information comes from. And so it would really behoove us all if we were all like on the same page with it. So you're not like, what is she talking about? But I wanted to put this all together. So in my initial tethering video, I discussed sacred geometry. I discussed astrology. I discussed tarot as a screenshot of our now moment, where we're at in the alternative space, being able to see where we're corded and tethered into, and, how we're tethered into the planetary bodies and how we can use reality creation through the concept of tethering. And so this kind of brings it all together. We have the snapshot of where we're at in this now moment. We've looked at the cords and tethers as it relates to this full moon energy, which is a release. And, I've been able to channel through some information on that. And remember, part of what I always do in these readings that I'm kind of beta testing for you is I get a lot of information through music from the angelic realm. So make sure you go check out the song Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, because that is the song that I got very strongly for this energy. So I hope that helps someone out there. Love, light, and blessings to you all. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share and comment and all that jazz. You can find me now on MeWe under Love Manifest. I think I've been released from Facebook jail, so hopefully I'll be putting some new blog posts out on my Facebook blog, Love Manifest, and hopefully I'll be announcing some more platforms to integrate with as well here. And if you enjoyed having this energy report to include more of the current astrology and tarot snapshot, let me know in the comment down below. And pretty soon, I think I will be offering private readings for those that are interesting. I think I've gotten to a point now that I've kind of beta tested that enough, and I'm feeling much more grounded in my capacity to be able to do that. So love, light, and blessings to you all. I hope this resonated. I'm so excited to hear from you and what you're going to be experiencing over these next couple days, and what action, anomalous action you'll be able to take, where you've recalibrated. Hopefully, you guys will really get this beautiful push from the energies and begin to feel a little bit of relief. So take care. Bye.